Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Sumo fans! I'm Vinny and this is Sumo Files. And today I'm going to talk about day 15 of the 2026 Basho. So without further ado, let's dive into the highlights. Fujinokawa wasted no time asserting control, defeating Toki Hayate with a sharp Sukui Nage. Right from the opening clash, a firm headbutt allowed the Senoumi man to step inside and secure Morozashi, walking Toki Hayate back to the Tawara before twisting him down. For the second time since reaching Makuuchi, Fujinokawa finishes with double-digit wins, a strong statement that should translate into a solid promotion. Toki Hayate takes the loss, but with Kachikoshi already secured, his steady climb continues. In the first big bout of the day, everything Oshomi had built towards this momentum runs straight into a wall named Atamifuji. The Segahama powerhouse didn't even bother searching for the Mawashi. Instead, he neutralized Oshomi's right arm, wrapped up the body with his own right hand, and marched forward without hesitation, finishing with a Yorikiri. Oshomi couldn't find the grip he needed, and just like that, the dream finish slipped away. Still, 10 wins in only his second top division tournament speaks volumes. Atamifuji, meanwhile, did exactly what was required, reaching 12 victories, locking up the Kanto Sho and keeping his championship hopes very much alive. Yoshinofuji stayed composed and efficient, pushing past Shoshoma with a clean Yoshidashi. The Tachi-ai was balanced, but once the Segahama man secured Hidari-yotsu and then added the outside grip, Oshoma's options vanished. A late Kubi-hineri attempt didn't faze him, and Yoshinofuji calmly drove through. He finishes with a modest Kachikoshi, but the two Kimoshi elevate the result, enough to secure the Shukunsho and, according to Japanese reports, all but confirm a Komusubi promotion. Wakamoto Haru's story reached its final chapter in style as he took down Onokatsu with a decisive Wate Hineri. A sharp Nodowa initially favored Onokatsu, who even managed Hidari-yotsu, but unnoticed, Wakamoto Haru had already secured both sides of the Mawashi. This led to a stalemate, but after a couple of seconds, it all ended in an instant when the Komusubi twisted and dropped his opponent. From 0-5 to Kachikoshi, it's one of the tournament's best turnarounds. Onokatsu finishes 7-8, marking a third straight Makekoshi, 2 wins having come by Fusen. Kirishima imposed himself physically and closed out his Basho with a convincing Yorikiri over Abi. Abi's Nodowa lacked bite, and a brief Kotenage attempt went nowhere. Kirishima absorbed the pressure, pushed him back, and once Morozashi was in place at the Tawara, the bout was effectively over. With Atamifuji already winning earlier, there was no playoff path left, but Kirishima still walked away with the Kanto Sho. Also, Abi finishes with double-digit wins for the first time since November 2024, a milestone well earned. In the second crucial moment of the day, Aonishiki has no margin for error, playoff or Jun yusho, and in the end, he did what had to be done. A strong Nodowa sent Kotozakura back, but the Sadogataki ozeki survived and suddenly went for multiple Hataki Komi attempts, and although it didn't work, he managed to get an outside grip with his left. Aonishiki, however, held firm with his right inside, and that single advantage proved to be decisive as he used his power to end by Yorikiri. Kotozakura fought hard, but 3 straight losses sealed a modest Kachikoshi. Aonishiki's victory, on the other hand, punched his ticket to the decisive playoff. Hoshoryu once again reminded everyone that although he's injured, he's still a Yokozuna. Neutralizing Onosato's right arm at the Tachi-ai, he's leading to Migi-yotsu and never let go. Onosato tries to lift and break free, but with both sides of the Mawashi controlled, the outcome was an inevitable Yorikiri. Hoshoryu finishes with 10 wins despite the knee issue, extending the rivalry lead to 9-3. Onosato also closes at 10-5, and both Yokozuna are now able to finally turn their focus towards recovery. In the end, everything came down to one final exchange: power against composure, momentum against precision. And after a long and dramatic struggle, the one who finally came out on top was Aonishiki. He struck the chest early to halt Atamifuji's terrifying forward surge and quickly secured Migi-Yotsu. Atamifuji tries to lift Aonishiki's arm and threw everything he had into breaking the grip, forcing the ozeki back to the Tawara. And then, in one instant, Aonishiki let go, executing a flawless Kubinage that sent the giant down. Ladies and gentlemen, Aonishiki Arata is your champion, his second Emperor's Cup, and one wrapped in history. He becomes the first debuting ozeki to win a tournament since Hakuho in May 2006, and the first rikishi since Futabayama to win consecutive titles as Sekiwake and Ozeki. Just like those legends, Aonishiki now sets his sights on the same ultimate goal, become a Yokozuna. And that's it everyone, thank you very much for following my coverage over these 15 days. I'll do my best to bring you a special video about Aonishiki's victory tomorrow or Tuesday, where I'll talk in much more detail about his campaign. So, for one last time, here are the results of the 15th day of the tournament. In addition, here's the final table of this great tournament. And if you enjoyed this coverage, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you don't miss any future content. That's it guys, until next time!